So this is an Anglican church I decided to build. The windows all can turn on and off, so to speak. You'll notice there's a little fountain down the side there. I decided to make that a kind of faux baptismal fount, so that, if people wanted to, they could get baptized here. There's a lot of churches on Habboon, but what I found is that the vast majority of them are actually, places for getting married rather than, built specifically for liturgical purposes. Um, I'm still gonna see if I can track down some Bibles to put in there, but yeah, when you get onto the teleporter out of the church, you'll find that there's a whole town square here. I wanted to, build a non-Japanese town square sort of area that would contain a lot of storefronts like that, and also just various little animals. Like, I liked the fact that the catalog included both a llama and an alpaca, so I thought, oh, put those together in the same room, see how they look together. And yeah, I feel happy when I look at it because a lot of, much like my Japanese festival room, a lot of the not all of them, but a lot of the furniture can be interacted with. Some of the okay, admittedly, because I built a lot of the stalls ad hoc, like piece by piece, you can't do much. But some of them, like the apples and the tomatoes and things down that end, if I double click as you can see, if I double click there, sometimes a piece of fruit or something will disappear from them, which I think is a nice little touch. So that's one of the things. With Habboon, you kind of have to drag and pull your view around so you can see, but yeah, you can see I've managed to pick up an apple there and I'm walking around holding it. Either it's an apple or a tomato, I'm not sure which. But also, I discovered that if I double click this cart, I can actually pick up a croissant. And when I saw how cute and little that croissant in my hand was, my heart just melted. I thought, oh my gosh, I wish I had discovered this faux pastry carton much sooner. But yeah, that's just one of the little things that make Habboon or Habbo magical. It's how everything's so cute and little, and you can just build a miniature town square like I've done here. And you'll notice again that, like, much like my Tokyo room, there's a lot of different architectural styles here, because I think in most real towns it wouldn't all be just one style. And so there's things that you'd find in a Santorini room there's things you'd find in Paris, there's Victorian England sort of buildings, there's some buildings that I stole from a not stole, but they originated in a Christmas village. The tiles I have as the pathway are actually meant to be in a castle, but I thought, no, they'll look nice here. Oh, and you can see when you double click them, you can make them turn into slightly different shades, and so you can make a decision about what style you want. I wanted a brighter color because I felt that the lighter cream colors would better match with the different buildings. Oh, some of those buildings are from a collection called Sunlight City, I think it is. And I think the concept behind it is that you'd have a sort of recycling city. But the buildings to me look what's the name of that architectural style? Art Nouveau? And I love Art Nouveau things, but you so rarely get to see Art Nouveau architecture. Oh, so I hit a teleporter there, so you can go through it into, my Victorian English street. Now, what you might not realize is that there's actually a few teleporters in here. Now, that's another little thing. Even though some objects in Habboon are transparent, you can sometimes get stuck behind them and find yourself unable to move past them. For example, I have some birds in this room, and the squares that they occupy can't be walked over. So I've actually since had to do a little rearranging in this room so I can actually walk from A to B. In fact, I think you might see me make those modifications in this video. Oh, and that's another little thing that can sometimes be a bit annoying. You'll double click a surface trying to, pull yourself around or move it around or get your character to walk there. And, it'll end up changing shape or color or whatever it's meant to change. But yeah, you'll see up the front there's actually the time machine from the Time Machine, the very old classic movie, and that actually doubles as a time machine in reality that leads to a different room, and I'm fairly proud of it because well, maybe pride isn't the right way to put it because I didn't create it, but I like the fact that it exists because you can actually have it lead to different periods of time. For example, we're not in Victorian England, therefore it doesn't make sense that, a contemporary little Habboon avatar should be there. So it may, having a time machine is that fellow there, that's a good friend of mine. Well, he's somebody I often talk to here on Habboon. He's a good guy. And yeah, I think that in this scene, he actually tries the time machine. I said to him, well, do you want to go check out what's actually through there? And, so he decided to go for it. Another thing I spotted that's funny, sometimes the time machine will actually give off sparks when you use it, but sometimes for some reason it won't. And I have no idea why. Oh, yeah, did you just see that? You can actually get snow to appear or disappear on some of the buildings that are in the Habboon store, because, obviously if you want to build a Christmas village, you can't just have a normal house. You need to be able to have snow show up on it. And in fact, a lot of the Victorian England stuff was intended for building a kind of Charles Dickens sort of village. So, in the store, I could have bought, some dolls of little children to put around the room so that it looks as if they're it looks as if the town is populated. But I thought, no, I don't know if I really like the style of those dolls, first of all, and second of all, in amongst all of this, will they really look right? And I quite like creating night scenes, as I think you can tell. I've even bothered to buy some stars to put into the black background right there. And that's not, again, that's not coincidental. That's just the way it is. So I'm still trying to get myself to go to that teleport spot right there, because what's on the other side of it is, again, something I'm quite, pleased with. I mean, obviously I have a bit of pride over all of the rooms I've created, because, they represent this gradual process I went through of trying to learn how to stack. Like a lot of the items in this room involved stacking. And some furniture within the store will stack automatically, like by default, when you place them on top of one another. But others will, even if they seem to be designed to stack, will not stack. And so you sort of have to buy these special stacking tools that you can use in a room. And that was another thing I learned through process of error. You don't have to leave the special stacking tiles in place indefinitely. You can use them once for their purpose and then just take them away. And even once you've taken them away, the item you've stacked will remain stacked. Like it won't just collapse down into itself. And in fact, if you try to put other things in that spot, they'll stack on top as well. So when it came to building this room to some degree, and also the Tokyo room, having those really became very handy, because there was a lot of there was a lot of things I wanted to do that room with that room, that for some reason the products themselves were not allowing. Like, it looked as though a lot of them should have been able to stack, but they didn't. Now what have I done here? There's black. Oh, I see. I wanted to just go in here, because you can see there's a time machine there as well, because this is where the time machine is meant to lead. Now this is the star room, I call it, and I built it to sort of be a kind of wedding hall, where you can see there's a kind of little, welcome area, so that, and there's usually a beautiful door there, but I couldn't get it to load. But yeah, you can see there's a bit of food here, so, guests who are waiting for the wedding to start can, have a bit of a nosh. I bought that bowl of Lay's, Hawaiian necklaces, thinking that you could double click it and actually your avatar would wear one of those necklaces, but for some reason it doesn't actually do that, even though you can go up to a cart and pick up a croissant. And I'm quite fond of this little chair that I put up the top there. Just a moment, I'll see if I can, see how it'll actually start levitating. I mean, yeah, I just thought it's a cool little feature, and it'd be just a funny thing if somebody performed a wedding in here and the preacher, got into that chair and was levitating above everyone. It would just be like, yep, he's important, you gotta respect his authority. Oh, and that's a teleporter there, that thing that I just walked into. And I've done that so that you can go up here and actually see that I've created what I felt was a romantic little garden. So the wedding couple can get married, then go down to the band pit, and then just teleport up there, and have a nice little chat about, oh, wasn't our wedding very nice, darling, and blah blah blah, and then yeah. I think I had a little bit of fiddling around with that area though, because even I have moonbeams shining down into it, and it turns out moonbeams interact with the local furniture in some very funny and unexpected ways. But yeah, the obviously you need a honeymoon room, and so I decided to put various little artifacts that I think people would traditionally associate with romance. However, this chandelier, if you double click it, it actually emanates ghosts and ghostly light. So it's technically meant to be for a haunted hotel, but when it's not looking haunted, I think it's rather nice. And yeah, there's my friend again. Yeah, somehow navigation wasn't going very well for him that day. I think his connection kept cutting out. Again, the fact that devices these days don't necessarily take Flash seriously means that there's a lot of devices that make it very hard to use Habboon, unfortunately. Oh yeah, you can see I had to do a little bit of a rearrange so that I could actually teleport back down. Because I'd put a moonbeam in front of it, not knowing that the moonbeam would actually stop me from going in. But yeah, for some reason, if you put a moonbeam somewhere, it becomes a sort of sitting spot. Like, if you click on it, your avatar won't just stand in it, it'll end up levitating and sitting in the moonbeam, which to me is rather funny. But yeah, you can see I'm still trying to get down, and I'm just like, what the actual F is happening? Why am I not going down? Yeah, quite a lot of what's in this room came from a very vast different set of collections. There's a swing in that garden, and also a bench, which come from a Shakespeare collection. And for some reason one year they decided to do a series of Valentine's products that was sort of Japanese themed, and I guess that's because a lot of people would want to go to Kyoto for their honeymoon, and so they thought, okay, we'll give them a romantic Valentine's Day that involves Japanese things. And you know, I guess I like that they're thinking differently, that they don't immediately assume, oh, it's got to be Paris, it's got to be London, it's got to be Milan and Rome, and all of these European places that people think are romantic. Like, why not Kyoto? Why not? Yeah, and I think I scrolled down. Yeah, I scrolled down again so that I could be sure of seeing what he was saying. Because again, you can have issues where you're trying to talk to someone, and you can't, you can't really be sure of where they are in the room, and it just here we go. I got the moonbeam moved. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out that it was the moonbeam doing that, but knowing that now, it makes it possible to do more fun, interesting things with a moonbeam. Like, I suppose if you wanted, you could use a moonbeam to make it look as though you're being abducted by aliens or something. But I use it well, I'll show you. You'll see in my videos if you keep watching. You'll see what I did with it. But yeah, yeah, that's another annoying little thing. Sometimes your avatar will go to places you don't expect it to, and yeah. So there's my buddy, and there's me chatting away with him. What else can I say about this room? Just, yeah, I mean, admittedly, one of the things that tends to go with my buildings are that I tend to be like, okay, what have I accidentally bought too much of for another room that I ended up not using? How can I use it now? And yeah, they end up in rooms like this. And for a period of time, I was just looking through the shop and just being like, well, they pretty much give me infinite credits. I might as well just go ahead and buy whatever I feel like buying, and just working out what to do with them later. And yeah, it's good in a way, because if you suffer from or if you just want retail therapy with no consequences, you can do something like that. You can just go through the Habboon catalog and be like, oh, yeah, I like that window. Yeah, I'll take one of them. Oh, I like that wig. I'll take that. And yeah, you can just work out what to do with it later. But yeah, I mean, one of the things I've found weird about online chat is the way sometimes you'll be talking to somebody and then suddenly they'll just fall silent, and you won't know what's going on with them. You'd have to think that it's not that they're upset, because it doesn't fit with the trajectory of the conversation for them to be upset in any way. But yeah, sometimes you have troubles. Just because communicating in an online medium can be challenging. So when I'm chatting with people, one of the things I'll often do is I'll try to use objects in the room to entertain them. And so I was sort of being like, oh, look, I'll give you a piece of pork, here it is, and acting like the pig was cut up, and I come back for a piece for myself. Some things in Habboon better facilitate that kind of role play than this pig does. Like, there are machines that actually dispense cans of drinks or cups of soda or things like that, and so. And it matters, because to him I was saying, you're dressed as a wolf, so I should be giving you meat to eat. And yeah, I think a wolf would like ham, but yeah, it's not a very realistic transition there. Mostly because I don't think it's meant to be used the way I'm using it. Like, I think it's meant to just exist as an item in the room and not be played with like that. But when you want to pretend to your friends that you're meeting them, you can't help but want to do a little more with what you have, obviously. Because I could, I decided to use my time machine from this end to go back to my little street, because obviously once that's the case, I don't have to worry about getting past all the stuff in the street. So yeah, I decided I would get those birds out of the way and then try to show what's through this teleporter. Of course, I'm still having a tough time because I haven't moved the birds yet. Yeah, it's. I think in any program, really, there's always this frustration of having to learn how everything works. But yeah, I thought, okay, I'll leave those birds out in the street and then we can get in the teleporter, so it's like I'm going through the front door of my old English house. You can see I've tried to make everything vintage, china case and all that. Um, I actually built this room while I was watching that new popular Tiger King series on Netflix, so I forever associate this house with that. But yeah, this is like the first bathroom I built for myself. I built it even before I knew that I wanted an old European style house to put with it. Technically it's not all old European stuff, some of it's from India, but I just thought it's a nice fancy little bathroom, the fanciest I could imagine. So we'll go over here and you can see the first of the bedrooms in this house. I think that's what's through there. Yeah, here we go. And so you can see there's, not every object that you would think would do things actually does. Like the cupboards don't actually open in this house. But yeah, you can if you do things right. Again, for some reason, sometimes the avatar doesn't do what I expect. But yes, it is possible to sleep in the beds in Habboon, but for some reason that wasn't working for me. I don't know why. Maybe I had it in the wrong place, like too close to the cupboard. But yeah, you can sit down and pretend you're having tea with your friends. The light hanging from the ceiling turns on and off, and if I wanted to, I could take it out and replace it. I haven't tried to do anything with those cats yet, admittedly, but yeah, we'll get back out of the bedroom so I can show you what else is in the house. Oh dear, it's looking as though I'm showing you guys this house before I installed the kitchen, which is a shame because it's a rather snazzy little kitchen. I'll have to do an additional video for that. But yeah, again, you can see there's a lot of clothing and hair in there, and that's because to use hair and clothing that you've bought in the catalog, you actually have to place it as a physical object in one of your rooms first, and then use it and put it on, and it becomes part of your own menu of things you have to use, which you can see there. And that's another thing. When you buy most clothing and accessories, they will automatically show up as whatever color you have set for that category. So if you want it to be some other color, like anything really, just about, you have to go into your menu and pick the different colors you want. I don't really know why I bothered with that right there, because I didn't have it in mind to go on wearing those things. I mostly just wanted to show the process of how an outfit might come together and why I had so much stuff strewn about that room. But yeah, for some reason, I feel very much like always using that particular bedroom as the place to hold my spare clothing when I don't want to use them right away. But since I took this footage, I've picked up most of that stuff. Mostly because I wanted to get better at playing a game called Cozy Change. cozy change is when people are invited to a particular room on Habboon, and they're given various topics that they have to put on outfits for, and the host gets to decide a winner, and whoever wins typically gets a whole lot of Habboon credits. Again, because because Habboon gives you so much credits for free, winning an amount is almost a meaningless concept. I mean, there are some items in the catalog that cost way more than others, and to get them you would have to be waiting for an extraordinarily long time for all of those credits to accrue in your account. And that's the thing, you only get new credits by actually remaining and playing the game. They won't give you more credits while you're offline. And I think that's, an incentive for people to keep coming back, so that people keep seeing the ads and it means more revenue for them. But yeah, there's my jewelry collection. Most of that, as you can see, are things that came with the catalog. But the thing is, in Habboon, the you can buy something called Habboon Club, which doesn't. Again, you just use credits that are in the game to pay for it, and it doesn't matter that you do, because you always get more. So you can get Habbo Club whenever you want, and it just unlocks a lot of the options for clothing and jewelry, and makes it possible for you to put together an outfit that it suits your own personality much better. As you can see, there's a ridiculous number of options. Okay, so now we'll exit out of this room. I guess I decided to go on wearing those vintage clothes because I thought, oh, it kind of suits the environment, kind of. But yeah, we'll go back out to... Oh yeah, I just want to show you that... Oh, hang on, yeah, no, we'll go back out to the street again. And yeah, that's this little area.